Highway Safety, I'd like to welcome you all to the launch of the 2011 Click It or Ticket campaign. We are here today to kick off the 10th anniversary celebration of Click It or Ticket in Delaware. I'm very pleased to be joined by representatives from state and local law enforcement. Thank you so much for your support and participation in the last 10 years of this campaign and helping Delaware achieve an all-time high use rate of 91%. I'd also like to thank our safety and corporate outreach partners, some of whom were able to join us today, including Dover Air Force Base, FedEx, the University of Delaware, and the Office of EMS. Your partnership is key to ensuring that the citizens of this state hear the Click It or Ticket message and buckle up while traveling on Delaware roadways. Click It or Ticket is our first initiative in our 120 Days of Summer Heat campaign. And today we are issuing a special heat advisory to unbuckled motorists as we kick off our 2011 Click It or Ticket campaign. Buckle up, no excuses. Everyone caught not wearing a seatbelt in Delaware will be fined. So why is this campaign so important? Because it saves lives. In fact, the only goal of the Click It or Ticket campaign is to save lives and reduce injuries and getting more people to buckle up. The statistics and crash data don't lie. Worn properly and consistently, seatbelts save lives. The Click It or Ticket campaign is a nationwide high-visibility seatbelt enforcement initiative supported by intense and frequent media awareness. Daily statewide enforcement begins in a little over a week on May 22nd and will run for 2 weeks through June 4th. There will be traffic safety checkpoints and patrols as officers look for violators of Delaware's seatbelt law, especially at night, since 71% of Delaware's unrestrained fatalities occur between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. In Delaware, the driver and all passengers, even those in the back seat, are required to be buckled. An officer may pull a motorist over if anyone in the vehicle is not properly restrained. The fine is $25 plus court costs, which can average a total of over $70 per ticket. Click It or Ticket has been a great success over the last 10 years. Thanks to the formula of enforcement plus awareness, seatbelt use has risen to Delaware from 67% just 10 years ago to 91% this year. That's even higher than the national average of 85%. To help us kick off our 2011 campaign, I'd like to introduce our speakers today who will share with you how Delaware's accomplished a 91% use rate, how our partners with the corporate community is a win-win, and how seatbelts worn correctly can save lives. With us today is Governor Jack Markell, Secretary Schiliro of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security, Colonel Robert Coupe of the Delaware State Police, Chief Kevin McDerby of Newcastle City Police Department, Travis Boardman, FedEx ground contractor, and one of our corporate outreach program partners, and Yeley, NASCAR Sprint Cup driver of the number 46 Whitney Motorsports team, who will share his Saved by the Seatbelt story. Governor.
To protect ourselves and our family, I can't think of anything that's simpler than buckling a seatbelt. I mean, it takes a second. And for that 1 second of effort, we can save lives. And that's what this is about. And more to the point, what this is really about is asking all of you to help spread the word. Something like 46% of, so far this year, there have been 24 vehicle occupants killed in traffic crashes. 46% were not wearing a seatbelt. And that's really just unacceptable. And so it's great we have such wonderful partners in the Office of Highway Safety and local law enforcement, as well as the state police throughout the state of Delaware. But we ought to make their job real simple, which is just buckle up ourselves and make sure that everybody else does so as well. To the extent that you've got a child, if they get into the habit as a kid of buckling up, they'll continue to buckle up when they're adults. It really is that simple. And so I really wanted to be here to thank the Office of Highway Safety, law enforcement throughout the state, Travis from FedEx, and certainly Yeley for sharing his story with us. It's great to have somebody that kids can look up to and to hear from you directly about how important this is. But please, the folks up here and the folks behind you in uniform can't do it themselves. This is really about something that every single person in Delaware has a role to play to help keep yourselves and others safe. But thank you so much.
As well as our annual Click Your Ticket campaign. I would like to introduce our next speaker, my boss, Mr. Schiliro. He is the Cabinet Secretary for the Department of Safety and Homeland Security and another wonderful supporter of the Office of Highway Safety and our initiatives. Please help me welcome Secretary Schiliro.
Thank you so much, Jana. As you can see from just the sheer number of the law enforcement officers here today, we feel so incredibly privileged to have such a supportive law enforcement community and to have the opportunity to work with officers that are truly committed to saving lives through traffic safety work. This year, there are 24 state, county, and municipal police agencies that will participate in the Click It or Ticket enforcement program. Their participation is key to achieving even higher seatbelt use rates, and we are ever grateful for their support. Even given that we know what happens to motorists that are involved in a crash without a seatbelt. Some people may still not understand why we put such emphasis on seatbelt use. The seatbelt law is every bit as important as all of the other traffic safety laws. And if you think breaking our seatbelt law can't kill you, think again. Even if you aren't at fault, wearing a seatbelt significantly increases your chance of survival. I would like to highlight some of the campaign efforts and the activities over the past 10 years that our Office of Highway Safety and their partners have implemented together. In 2006, Highway Safety identified 2 areas in the state that had significantly lower seatbelt use than the rest of the state: Claymont in Newcastle County and Seaford and Laurel in Sussex. Unique outreach and enhanced enforcement efforts in these areas resulted in tremendous increase in seatbelt usage. They have worked with various corporate outreach partners such as Comcast Cable and Allen Foods and our trauma system partners, to name just a few, to conduct observation seatbelt surveys and distribute information through health and safety committees. This year, Dover Downs, the Dover Air Force Base, Purdue, FedEx, and BB Hospital will conduct on-site seatbelt surveys and distribute buckle-up pens to employees. Since this information, our general flyers are also in Spanish, and it helps us to educate our state's Latino population as well. Last year, Highway Safety partnered with Grotto Pizza and local coffee shops by placing Click It or Ticket pizza box pens around the Grotto pizza boxes. As well, we are all facing budget cuts and are asked to do more with less. OHS has gotten creative with new social media marketing. They have created a Facebook page and a Twitter page to promote dialogue and discussion about traffic safety across all ages. This initiative is truly a team effort, and to be successful, we need everyone on our team to spread the message about highway safety. In the last 10 years, we have made significant progress, getting more Delawareans to buckle up, and I would like to particularly thank everyone here today, particularly our law enforcement partners, for the efforts in that. And, just as another note, what you guys do matters so very much. There are many people here today that are walking because of the efforts that you have, and just a particular thanks to everyone. Thank you.
Here's Colonel Robert Coupe from the Delaware State Police. DSP has been a tremendous supporter of the Office of Highway Safety over the last many years. We can always count on their support, and we're ready to promote a traffic safety initiative. As a matter of fact, last year, Trooper Yeley was the face of Click It or Ticket and could be seen on billboards across the state. We really appreciate Delaware State Police's willingness to allow that officer to participate in that campaign. And please help me welcome Colonel Coupe.
Good morning. We are proud to support the Delaware Office of Highway Safety and our law enforcement partners by participating in the 10th year of Click It or Ticket. The evidence clearly indicates that encouraging more motorists to buckle up will reduce the number of persons killed or injured on Delaware roadways. And protecting the motoring public is one of our top priorities. Earlier, we heard about the frequency of motorists riding unrestrained at night and law enforcement's efforts to target this problem. Research from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration offers the following insight on motorists riding unbuckled at night. Nighttime unrestrained drivers are 3 times as likely to have a felony record, twice as likely to have a criminal record for offenses that involve violence, 3 times as likely to have a DUI on their record, and more than twice as likely to have a negligent or reckless driving violation on their driving record. Last year, during the 2-week Click It or Ticket campaign, there were a total of 1,639 seatbelt violations issued, 81 child restraint violations, 430 speeding violations, and 18 DUI arrests. In addition to the traffic arrests, there were 32 wanted persons apprehended, 23 drug arrests were made, and the recovery of a stolen motor vehicle. All of those arrests were made as part of a seatbelt checkpoint or a directed patrol within those 2 weeks. Traffic studies have shown that a particular segment of the population is less likely to wear their seatbelt. Who are they? Men, ages 16 to 28. They accounted for 61% of unrestrained fatalities in 2010. According to the 2010 census, approximately 48% of Delaware's population is male. Yet males account for over 60% of unrestrained fatalities. Gentlemen, we need you to wear your seatbelts. Buckle up. In partnership with the Office of Highway Safety's educational programs, law enforcement will do its part to get motorists to use their seatbelts through zero-tolerance enforcement of the state's seatbelt law. We are participating in Click It or Ticket because with more people wearing seatbelts, injuries are reduced and more people will survive crashes. As police officers, it is very frustrating to investigate a crash and realize that the injuries could have been minimized, eliminated, or a life may have been spared if the motorist had just worn a seatbelt. On behalf of the men and women of the Delaware State Police, please drive responsibly and have a safe summer. Thank you.
The local police agencies do a great job in keeping citizens safe. OHS does owe a debt of gratitude to these men and women because it is such an integral part of our campaign efforts. On behalf of the local police departments, please welcome Chief Kevin McDerby of the Newcastle City Police Department.
It's an honor for me to stand before you today and represent local law enforcement. Quite honestly, people like Matt Cox should probably be standing up here because they asked me to talk about my experience throughout my 40-year career with different things I witnessed and so forth. Matt Cox is with the Delaware State Police and has served with the Fatal Accident Reconstruction Team for many, many years. He's no longer assigned to that unit, but he could probably come here, and I'm not going to put him on the spot and say, Matt, come up here. The bottom line is he knows firsthand how many lives could have been saved had different people been wearing seatbelts when they were involved in those fatal accidents. The Office of Highway Safety recently conducted a survey with law enforcement agencies throughout the state. You know, what are the different reasons that people offer you when they're not wearing their seatbelts? So just like David Letterman has his top 10, I just want to quickly go down the top 10 reasons given by motorists trying to explain to police officers why they don't wear seatbelts. Number one, I'm afraid of getting stuck in a car if I'm involved in an accident. Statistics show that you're much safer in the vehicle than being ejected from the vehicle. It irritates the skin on my neck. That's why seatbelts are adjustable. All you have to do is reach to your left side and move the seatbelt up or down to make it more comfortable. It makes me feel restrained. Gee whiz. It's supposed to make you feel restrained. I'm too big to wear a seatbelt. That's why they sell extenders. Nobody tells me what to do in my car. The bottom line is, driving is a privilege, and there's many, many, many laws governing what you have to do when you drive a car. Wearing a seatbelt is just one of them. Number 6, I have an airbag. I don't need a seatbelt. Airbags work in conjunction with seatbelts, and a lot of serious injuries are caused because airbags are deployed and your seatbelt is not properly buckled. I can't wear a seatbelt because I can't feed my baby. That's ridiculous, because if you even try to remove a child from the child restraint seat to feed the baby, you're putting that child's life in jeopardy as well as your own. The bottom line is, if you want to bottle feed a baby, you could both the mother and the child stay restrained. I have a medical condition, I can't wear it. All I can say is just make sure you have your doctor's excuse with you when you're stopped. I forgot. That's number 9. And that's why they put these idiot lights in these cars with all these blinkers and everything to remind people, yeah, you forgot to buckle up. But I'll just speak to one person. Back in 1971, I was a member of the 33rd recruit class with the Delaware State Police. I was in a field training program. My field training officer and I were dispatched to an accident in the Newark area. I can't say this teenager didn't wear her seatbelt. She wasn't buckled, but this is 1971. Seatbelts didn't become mandatory in vehicles until 1968. The bottom line is her vehicle might not have had seatbelts. But she was involved in an accident. She was a passenger in the front seat. Her head went through the windshield. The real serious damage done to that girl was when she re-entered the vehicle, and it was almost like a portion of her face was filleted from the rest of her body. That's something that will stick with me forever. And I can't say that, even as police officers, we haven't argued against the use of seatbelts. Over 30 years ago, the state police instituted a mandatory policy for all troopers to wear seatbelts, and I can remember the excuses, and I was one of them, that said, hey, I want to be able to get out of my car quickly. I don't want to be restrained if I pull over a vehicle in an emergency situation. And I say this jokingly, but when the state police went to, one year had cars that had vinyl seats, and if you're going to high speed and made a turn and you wound up on the passenger side of the vehicle, I think that might have been one of the convincing things that made the majority of troopers buckle up. But the bottom line is, at least 4 troopers have died since that mandatory use policy was put into effect in motor vehicle accidents. Those 4 troopers were buckled up. I can only imagine how many more troopers and other officers in the state would have lost their lives when they were involved in these horrific accidents if they were not buckled. Now quickly, I went to Google trying to prepare to speak, and I Googled ejection from vehicle and death. And I don't have time to talk about all the 300,000 entries that are on Google dealing with that topic. Again, another top 10. Northampton County, man ejected from truck dies at hospital. Hannah. 1 dead after being ejected from vehicle. Callahan man killed after being ejected from vehicle. Kingsport man dies being ejected from vehicle. Kirksville teen dies after being ejected from vehicle. Blue Diamond man dies after being ejected from vehicle. Clairvaux County, man killed after being ejected from vehicle. Casa Grande man ejected from vehicle during fatal crash. And these 2 hit home, this last 2, number 9, 10. A Maine firefighter was killed responding to the fire station. And number 10, a Los Angeles police officer, 23 years old, died after he was ejected from his vehicle. These last 2 witnessed firsthand what it is, the consequences suffered by not buckling up. Yet they lost their lives because they weren't buckled up. There are always people that are complaining that, hey, I got a ticket for, not being seatbelted. And, the complaints come, and again, the arguments, why do I have to wear seatbelts? And they complain because they got a ticket. But if people don't comply, if their failure to comply might actually lead their ticket to die. On behalf of the entire law enforcement community, I want to thank the Office of Highway Safety for the efforts they've put into getting the seatbelt legislation passed, whether it was a secondary violation and now a primary violation, whether it was under Jana's command or Trish Roberts. They both assembled an excellent team of workers to make this safe or state more safe. Regarding Jana, on a personal note, her father and I were both recruit troopers in the 33rd recruit class. He was taken home prematurely. He not only served an entire career with the Delaware State Police, but he also worked at the Office of Highway Safety with Jana, and a lot of the workers are there now. And as I said, he was taken home prematurely. He retired as a lieutenant from the Delaware State, an excellent, excellent trooper, an excellent father, an excellent person. I can say is that, Jana, your father would be proud of you today. Thank you.
Is Travis Boardman, a FedEx ground contractor and new corporate partner of the Delaware Office of Highway Safety. Travis is a wonderful advocate for highway safety, does a lot of work promoting safety within his organization. He has hosted a highway safety presentation at his work location and also participates in our corporate partner meetings. We appreciate his dedication to promote safety within the workplace. Please stop by also and take a look at the car if you haven't already. We're thrilled to have his car, the FedEx car, with us as well. Please welcome Boardman with FedEx.
First off, I want to just say it's truly an honor to be up here today representing FedEx Ground and helping promote Delaware's 10th annual Click It or Ticket campaign with these great people up here. I'm a 17-year contractor with FedEx Ground, and I'm also a professional truck driver with over 1 million miles of safe driving. I can proudly say every mile was with a seatbelt on. I know that even with 1 million miles accident-free, there's always that chance that someone else can cause me to get into an accident. So it's very important for me to always wear my seatbelt. At FedEx Ground, seatbelt use is not only important, it's our policy. With thousands of drivers delivering packages every day all across the country, our #1 package is our people. With our seatbelt policy in place, it gives us a little more peace of mind that our drivers will make it back home safely every day. It takes less time to buckle your seatbelt than it does to pull the keys from your pocket and start your car. So please help all of us up here help you save lives and buckle your seatbelt. Thank you.
There's a story about how seatbelt saved his life. He is the 2003 USAC Triple Crown champion. Only one other driver, Tony Stewart, can claim that. He is a NASCAR Sprint Cup driver with the number 46 Whitney Motorsports team and a new friend to the Delaware Office of Highway Safety. Please welcome JJ Yeley.
First off, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor. And as a professional race car driver, I can't stress enough to you how obviously important seatbelts are. I'm a 25-year veteran of racing at a professional level, and I climb behind the wheel of a race car on a weekly basis, and I put my life in my hand and the drivers around me. And it's up to my team to make sure that I have the most amount of safety and safety equipment in my race car. So I understand that if I get in a race car, that I go to a racetrack and I was in an accident and I hit the wall at 200 miles an hour, that I can still be standing here in front of you today because I wore my belts the correct way. Now obviously you people on the street in your passenger cars don't have that luxury, but you're not going that fast. You have the things around you. Like I said, it's so simple to just hook your seatbelt up. I was involved in a different kind of race car accident in the end of 2009 where my car started flipping violently. I flipped about 12 times and actually perched in 2 vertebrae in my neck and had to go to the hospital. Without seatbelts and wearing them correctly, I may not be standing in front of you today, or if I was, there's a good chance I would have been in a wheelchair. It's such a simple process to just get in your car, hook your seatbelt up, and not even worry about it. You know, I've had friends when I was in high school that were four-wheeling and going less than 10 miles an hour, and because it was such a simple thing that they were doing, they didn't have their seatbelts on, and unfortunately all 3 of them, which were my best friends, died. Going less than 10 miles an hour. So it's important. You know, I can't stress to you enough how important it is to just wear your seatbelt. You know, for me, every time I climb behind the wheel of a race car, I'm with professionals, and they have their seatbelts on, they do everything they can, and I have to trust them because we race together. As you're driving on the streets, you don't know the people around you. You don't know if they have had criminal records, if they have problems with their cars, if they haven't slept for days. You know, you're putting too much trust in the people around you. So the only thing that you can do as a passenger and as a driver is make sure that you're buckled up and do it all the time, because obviously the worst case scenario is you won't be here anymore. So please, like I said, I can't stress enough, wear your seatbelts. It's saved my life plenty of times, and hopefully it'll do you the same thing. Thank you.
Clearly a busy weekend to stop here and talk with us. Lastly, since we have shared with you the successes of what we've seen over the last 10 years, I'd like to share with you some of the new things that we've added to the campaign for 2011. OHS just launched our Facebook page. You can find us at ArriveAlive.de. We also have a Twitter page. Follow us at DE Safe, DE Highway Safe, excuse me. We are sponsoring a contest via Facebook where the winner will receive a free limo ride from Racing Limos, also a supporter of the Click It or Ticket campaign, and please take a look at the truck to my right as well. OHS will be manning a booth in the fan zone here at the race this weekend. Throughout the weekend, we'll be giving away lanyards for pit passes, and JJ Yeley will be signing autographs on Saturday from 9:30 to 11:30. Today, Dover Downs International Speedway will be giving away Saturday race tickets at Cesar Rodney High School to students that are buckle up. We'd love to have you join us there as well. That starts at 3 o'clock. I'd also like to recognize and thank Dover International Speedway and Dover Downs as one of our traffic safety partners, and also for hosting us today in front of Miles, the monster, in case you didn't see him behind me. Delaware State Police will now be conducting a rollover demonstration right over here to show you what happens to vehicle occupants when they're not buckled up in a crash. Thanks to Joe Lane and to Delaware State Police for volunteering to come out and assist us with that today. Thank you again to everyone for joining us. Our law enforcement officers, thank you for your dedication in caring about traffic safety and protecting our citizens. To our speakers, traffic safety partners, and supporters, thanks for all you do to promote traffic safety in the community and in your workplace. And to the public, please remember to buckle up every trip, every time. Thank you.